Our show is brought to you by Barreto Home Solutions, Bayou Audio and Video, Hot Works on the North Shore, JFK Martial Arts in Mandeville and Covington, Black Hawk Hauling, Lil Dizzy's Cafe, Wags Food and Culture, Moe's Pizza, The Green Law Firm, Personal Injury Attorney, Drums Earwear.
Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. 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 Hands up, hands up. If you winning and you don't give a fuck about a hater, tell them move, 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 move. Cause I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning. I'm winning, I'm winning, I'm winning.
I'm gonna tell you one team that might wind up wrecking people in the conference, and not talking about them being a contender. A team that
But they could ruin some people.
they're gonna ruin some people, and I'm gonna tell you the team,
Okay.
Vanderbilt.
Well, welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy. And I was trying to get the video to play, but apparently the sound didn't come out. Did you hear any sound, George? I don't think so, huh?
I heard some of it. I mean, the intro, the part where I interact and VK mentions Vanderbilt. But as far as
It was playing. I couldn't hear the
it,
sound.
you stopped it though, right as he said it. You
Oh, well,
know
guess what?
when
Well, guess what? Since you heard it, we're gonna run it back because I couldn't hear it, but you heard it. Everybody
I
heard it.
do,
We're gonna run this back from last night, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna tell
man.
you one team that might wind up wrecking people in the conference, and not talking about them being a contender. A team
But
that
they could ruin some people.
they're gonna ruin some people, and I'm gonna tell you the team,
Okay.
Vanderbilt. Watch for their quarterback. That quarterback returns this year, and he can throw the ball, he can run it, and at the same time, I'm telling you, man, Vanderbilt, I'm telling you, they're gonna be competitive this year. They're gonna be very, very competitive. I'm throwing this as a bone. I'm not saying they're gonna do anything like that. I'm like this. I don't know if they're gonna go to a bowl, but don't be surprised. They might pull off some shockers. I would not be surprised because I'm telling you, it might be one of them freaking teams. They ain't gonna do anything. All of a sudden, they pull a rug on a team and be like, okay, boom, they're your playoff chances. You lost to Vandy.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up, Matt?
Appreciate you
How you
joining.
doing?
Good, man. Man, who's up here talking about Vanderbilt? Y'all got to be kidding me. Oh,
That is VK Jones, the
Let
one
him
and
have
only.
it.
I mean, how in the world, VK, like, how in the world are you going to have me on this show? And the first thing I hear is you trying to hype up Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt quarterback from last year is at LSU now, AJ Swan. They've got a Utah transfer and a New Mexico State transfer. Now, the New Mexico State transfer did win at Auburn last year, but Vanderbilt is going to be teetotal trash, bro. They ain't going to win 2 games this year. Vanderbilt. VK, how am I going to be on here and the first thing you try to say is Vanderbilt
Commodores.
people season? Come
Well,
on, man.
Well,
Defend
I'm like
yourself,
this.
sir.
I'm like this. I heard they got a.
What are
Look,
you
I've been
talking
looking.
about, man?
I studied, and I've
Your
been
boys
looking,
are
man.
laughing at you, man. What are you talking about? Everybody on this call is like, now maybe you'll be brilliant. We'll see. I don't know. But if you
I
are,
might be wrong. I just make bold predictions sometimes, and I'm like this. Sometimes I'm right, sometimes I'm wrong. And, I just throw something out there.
Matt, most times he's wrong. Trust me on that one.
oh my God, Vanderbilt. Oh. Anyway.
One of the funniest moments ever here on the Hash It Out Show. But everybody, welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm your host, JB the Sports Guy. We got a good show for y'all tonight. Last night, that was so funny, man. The president of the Vanderbilt University Football Club, VK Jones, and then he didn't ran off to who knows where because he's not in front of his camera anymore. Oh, there he is.
There
Hey,
he is.
VK, how you doing, man?
He about to. He about to.
You
Oh
lucky
man.
this is a PG show because I ain't
Oh
gonna
wow.
lie. I would have did the Stone Cold salute right now, but I'm not gonna do that. I took one for the team just now on social media, so it's whatever to me. You know what I'm saying? I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of don't appreciate what's going on. But it is what it is. You run the show.
Oh
You're the
wow.
CEO, my friend. So
Oh
that's what you
God!
do,
Here
my
you
friend.
go, man. Oh
It's
God! Oh
throw VK
God!
under the bus. That's what
Oh
everybody
God!
In the
loves.
feeling.
But
Oh
it's
God!
okay. But it's
Oh,
okay.
we
It's all
throwing
good.
VK
I'm
under the.
here. I'm
Oh, we
here.
throwing VK under the bus now. Oh,
I'm here.
VK.
I'm
Oh,
here.
VK. If I hurt your feelings from showing a clip from yesterday, that was funny with everybody. Everybody
It was
loved it.
funny. And I walked some of that back. But if Vanderbilt wins more than two games, somebody's gonna look like a genius on this damn panel here, right?
Hey,
So if they win 3,
if they
I'm
win three
like this.
games, we go salute you. They win 3 games, VK.
Okay, got it,
We gonna
I'll say
salute you,
nothing.
VK.
got it.
He getting all sensitive, man. About
I'm
Matt
good.
Moscona.
I'm just saying.
Oh, look.
I'm just saying, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be me. You know what I'm saying? Like Colorado's gonna win 6 and go to a bowl this year. So that's another thing too. And who
That's
knows?
possible too. That's possible too.
Now Vanderbilt ain't gonna be the team that ruin people, but it probably might be the Tennessee Volunteers or the South Carolina Gamecocks. That's all I'm saying. I gotta walk that Vanderbilt thing back,
You
but
walking it back.
Vanderbilt
Or,
a little
or
bit.
you
I know
or you
I'll
one.
tell
He's
you.
not gonna.
or you crawfish back. Which one happened? Which one?
Yeah, he's crawfishing.
Well, luckily, the mascot for my little girl's school is a mud bug, so it is what it is.
Oh man, you can catch that and boil it. It's like that, bro.
Exactly.
Everybody, welcome to the Hash It Out Show. I'm
Mm.
JB the Sports Guy, joined by my two good friends, my two co-hosts. We got George Peppers and the president of Vanderbilt University Football Club, the one and only VK Jones. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
We good, man. We good. All I know, if Vanderbilt
I
somewhere
got a lot of
somehow,
texts last night, bro. People were laughing. They found
I
it funny,
know,
bro. It was great.
I know it was funny. I'm like this. If Vanderbilt somewhere somehow wins 3 games, I'm gonna have to get some Vanderbilt gear just to put on the show and be like, well, somebody is a genius on
So
this staff. So hey,
Hey,
it
bro.
is what it is.
3 games and we
hold
will
on. I can't
salute
let
you.
that slide, Jared.
See, look at Charles. Vanderbilt
Charles
BK.
Allen. He already
Vanderbilt
commented on your Instagram
Vanderbilt
post.
BK, boy. Oh man. What
It's
you gotta say, George, before we
but
get to our guests?
there's
What's up, Big Easy?
there's one thing. There's one thing he can't walk back. What he said about Harlan Barry. Remember that
I
during the interview
remember
with
it.
Matt Moscona,
I remember it, but
that he said that he should reconsider his commit to
I
LSU.
I understood where VK was coming from knowing that one. I
I did
understood where
too.
VK was coming from.
But well, hold on. You can't walk this back. See, I got to ride with this man tomorrow to the luncheon. So he might get physical and all that. I don't know. I'm
I'm
just
not.
saying, y'all sitting there abusing this man. Just I told my
I'm
I
not gonna
talked to my
walk.
brother earlier, and he can't wait to see you tomorrow, BK. You hear me? I'm just telling you, my brother is going. He can't wait to see you because
Hey, he makes
when I told him you said that, he was like, "You serious?" I was like, "Yeah, dead serious."
He's gonna
But
drop me.
he can't wait to see you. Oh, you think Jared's giving you business? Wait till tomorrow, my boy.
Oh, I
Wait
already know.
till tomorrow.
I already
Emmanuel, my
know.
boy. That's my boy right there, Emmanuel.
That's my
Emmanuel,
dog. Yeah, that's
I
my
already
brother.
know. I already know. But see, the Harlem Berry one, it's hard for me to walk back because I understand what Matt was coming from with that. LSU guy and everything. When you're in golf like that and everything, I get it. And then also you work in the market. I get it. And it's cool. It's cool you want your team to be successful. It's cool. But at the same time, I'm just looking at reality. And that's all it is. Because we didn't seen some past superstars in the past get lost in the shovel.
Decommit.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. The biggest thing I was shocked with, not just decommit, but being lost in the shovel at some schools that don't get that opportunity. So that's the biggest thing
Right.
I was concerned with Harlem Barrett. But the biggest thing I was shocked with when he was talking about it last night was the fact when he mentioned John Emery's name. And I'm wondering what went
Yeah,
on with him because I thought he transferred and all of a sudden he's back
he
at
he
LSU.
he
It's
went into the
crazy.
portal, and word was he was going to pick UCLA, and that didn't happen. He came back home to LSU, so he's going to finish his
Grad
graduate
year.
And
year.
the reason they didn't pick UCLA, Chip Kelly left.
That could be
Chip
it.
Kelly left.
True.
I think that was part of the lure of him going. So that was something that was also spewed to
Well, let's get going. Our guest for tonight,
Let's.
man, this guy here, good friend of ours, good friend of the show, and he's going to break down that central Louisiana area, not Baton Rouge central area. We're talking about the center of the state where the metropolitan of
My old stomping grounds.
Alexandria. Yeah, your old stomping grounds. The metropolitan area of Alexandria. And he works with CenLA Sports, the one, the only, Lamar Primetime Gafford. What's up, Lamar? What's going on, buddy?
What up, guys? What up, guys? We repping the A around here today, and I'm excited to be around. So, hey, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's jump into this. The Alexandria Trojans. They got to the quarterfinals of the playoffs last year, lost to, I believe, Edna Carr. Am I correct? Yeah, Edna Carr.
hmm
And they're coming back, and they have their star running back, JT Lindsay, who has committed to LSU. What can we look forward to in the Alexandria Trojans? And is there a chance they can make it further than the quarterfinals this year?
Yeah, you know what? It's kind of fun that you guys were talking about Harlem Berry and, kind of in the lead up to this right here because JT Lindsay also is an LSU commit and a very good one. I mean, he's a good running back that not just only as a speedster, he's done very well the 100 and also in the 200 in track, but this is a guy that also runs behind his pads pretty well too. He pretty much can run for power as well, and he's kind of like the total package. And I feel like this is going to be the guy that they're going to really lean on this season, where they have him. They also got a receiver in Darius Washington. Um, I feel like Ash has a decent chance of possibly making it to Thanksgiving this year. Got a chance to talk to Coach Bachman about that last week, and they look very good. I feel like that they're probably the best team in CenLA that we have around here. The only thing that may be concerned is who is going to win that quarterback situation there. And it looks like it's going to be two quarterbacks that's going to be sophomores that are kind of running against each other. But the winner of that spot right there could have that spot for the next 3 years and pretty much will have themselves a very good offense and a solid defense uh, that they can possibly maneuver their way in order to try to get to back to the quarterfinals. They scheduled hard this year too, and I know they're playing in the official scrimmage against STM. They're also playing against Acadiana in the scrimmage next week, and then they're also playing in the Jamboree against Sterlington. And then after that, you got to start off the season West Feliciana. You have Union Parish, home game against Destrehan, and oh, by the way, they got to play against Opelousas. So they're going to be battle tested early, and that's before getting into the district where this is a district that swaps out West Washita for Devil. So yeah, I feel like we're going to find out about Ash, but they're going to be very battle tested. That I feel like that's just going to really help them out going into the playoffs.
You speak of the quarterback battle between two sophomores. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't one of those quarterbacks a transfer from John Everett High School?
Yeah, I think one of them is a transfer from there. So he's also looked pretty good. I got a chance to see him as well. They also got two homegrown guys, one with the last name of Gassioid and another one with the Carson Sellers, who a lot of people really have gotten a chance to see, especially during his junior high days at Tioga Junior High. He made the move to Ash because he felt like that this would be the great place for him to become a better quarterback and everything. And so far it's been a spirited matchup between those three. I'm interested in seeing who gets that spot because, man, whoever gets that spot will have themselves good running back to hand the ball off to, and also some good receivers around. And also can't forget about a good tight end, Taylor Townsend, too. So they're going to have a good, solid squad this year. And I feel like also they got a good offensive line as well.
The Peabody Warhorses came out of nowhere last year. Coach Harry Coleman got this team to the playoffs, and now he wants to do more than just get to the playoffs. Of course, the goal is a state championship. What can you say about the Peabody Warhorses?
Yeah, I feel like they got a good squad too. I mean, I saw them last week as well. And the only concern I may have is probably defense right now because they did lose a lot of guys on defense. But I feel like with the guys that they got, their offense is going to be still a very solid team, solid offense. TJ Hullaby is starting to pick up some FCS offers. So he's pretty much their do-it-all guy. He's a guy that can be a good receiver. He's a dynamic punt returner. And then he's also shown the ability to also play a DB a little bit as well. And they really needed him last year to play DB, and he did a very good job in doing that. And I felt like last year the difference between Peabody in year one under Coach Coleman to year two under Coach Coleman was you saw a team that was more disciplined, and you saw a team that was, I mean, in the game, especially in the game against Tioga, where in the first year they lose 55-0. It really wasn't a game after halftime at that point. To playing possibly one of the best games I've ever got a chance to see. They went to overtime where you hated to see one of these teams lose in that matchup. Both of these teams deserve to have a win. It really is a good bit there. It's just a mentality. I mean, he always talks about, I want 11 lions. I don't want a pack of sheep. I want 11 lions out there because if I can do well with those 11 lions, hey, we're going to win. And he's brought that mentality to this team and to this program. And, it's been very good so far for the Warhorses.
I'm going to go down the road a little bit. Gina Giants got to the semifinals and almost reached the dome. What are they bringing back? And do they have another shot of trying to reach the dome?
I think this year they're going to take a little bit of a step back. They lost some very experienced squad that they had last year, and last year was a magical season for them. I mean, getting to the semifinals for the first time in program history, and Coach Jay Rourke does a great job with this team, and it's been the buy-in ever since he's been there. It's a joy getting the chance to see them play every year, where they know what to expect, and he has them going from pretty much attention to detail with them. But I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back this year. They're still going to compete very hard in their district with Bunkie and Caldwell and also Marksville and Buckeye. That's going to be a solid district this season. They're going to give it everything they got. They got a good linebacking core. Tristan McClendon, I think, is one of the linebackers that they have. That's really a solid guy. But I think they're going to be right in the mix. But I think as far as that district, and I know we'll probably talk about them in a little bit. I feel like Bunkie's the team to beat, but can't count out Gina. They're going to give it to everybody every single week, no matter what.
I can tell you this. I know that's gonna be one of George Pepper's questions about Bunkie, but we'll get to that in a little bit. BK.
Man, what's going on, Lamar? Man, appreciate you coming on, man. You know what I'm saying? You always you the man with the plan up in Central
I
But
try
I'm
to be, man. I try to be.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this first question. Let's talk about the Leesville Wampus Cats. Big year for them last season, and they return a good bit of experience. What does the Wampus Cats do to kind of repeat the year they had last year? But do you think this time this could be their time that they could get back to the Superdome for the first time since I believe '95, if I'm correct?
Yeah, 95, and I think they have at least a chance to get into the quarterfinals this year. It just depends on um as far as Xavier Ford. They're going to go as far as Xavier Ford carries them. We've seen him in his sophomore year. He had an amazing year as a sophomore year. His junior year pretty much matched those numbers, and kind of coming into this season is kind of like an afterthought in a way, a little bit there, because I mean, I guess everybody probably expected maybe 3,000 yards and probably 40 touchdowns or something. But this is a guy that they're going to give him the ball night in, night out. He's gonna give this team to at least a 7-win season, and I'm interested in seeing what's going to go in the district now because you got Iowa coming in the district, but I really feel like they're going to be the second best team in the district. It's between them and the Ritter. You know those matchups are always going to be tough, always going to be very spirited, and but Coach Robbie Cause is another one of those coaches that does a great job. He does a great job with these teams where he's continued to build up this program. It's crazy. I mean, a few years ago, he came in just a month before the season began, and we just didn't think what's going to go on with Leesville, how good they're going to be, and everything else like that. And the crazy thing is, over the last 7 years, he's really built up a good program that has been very consistent. And I think they'll do the same thing here.
I hear you on that one. You mentioned Xavier Ford. We had Michael Ford on the show, and he talked about Xavier Ford very well, and had a nice little comparison, and he even said that what I'm saying, it's two different backs between him and Cecil Collins. What are your thoughts of Xavier Ford? Is he as good as what Cecil Collins was when he played?
I think he's going to be right up there. I probably wouldn't say that he's right there with his uncle quite yet, and Michael, but he's up there. He's up there, and this has been a guy that even as soon as his sophomore year, people were saying to me, "Man, you got to see this guy. You got to watch this guy." And the crazy thing is his senior year. I haven't got a chance to watch him yet. It's other than tape, but I'm gonna make it a point to get a chance to watch him because the crazy part was the one time I did get a chance to wanted to watch him in his sophomore year. He had a concussion, and he basically told me, "Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for ruining that. I know you wanted to see me and everything, but nah, we understood about that thing. But this is a good senior year for him to try to ball out here, and he just got himself an offer from Tulane, and we already know that he has the potential of being a very good running back at the high Group of Five level, and possibly even at the smaller P5, P4 level right now. But I feel like he's due for a big year, and I think that this is a guy you can't count out, and seeing what he's going to be able to do.
Let's talk about the Manny Tigers. Second year without Jess Curtis. I mean, it's they had a nice year last year, but lost to St. James in the playoffs. But more than anything else, it seemed like Manny's still trying to be still a very strong program even after the state championship days of Jess Curtis. What are your thoughts, and what does Manny have this season?
Yeah, I think they've lost a good bit here as well, and Tylen Singleton is one of those guys that they've lost. It's going to be interesting to see how well they play and how well they mesh this coming up here because um, he was kind of like that last guy that they had in of that Just Curtis area, that they really felt like for the last couple of years that was going to make a run and everything else like that. And now it's going to be interesting to see how well they play, and as far as continuing. I think they'll be good in their district. I think they're the better team between them and Mansfield and also Winfield. But outside of that, how far can they go in the playoffs? Depends on the draw. I think they'll probably be a second round team at least, but I really like what Dylan is trying to build over there. Um, changing the philosophy and everything is a lot different. And, they've gone from a ground and pound offense, what Jess Curtis really loves, and to relying on the running backs to now, okay, we're going to air it out a little bit. And I know it's a lot different, but they showed that could have some success last season, even when using Singleton as a receiver. And it's going to be interesting to now see what's going to be the new era for Manny Tiger football now that pretty much Coach Barrett has his fingerprints on it now.
Actually, just one question. We'll pass it along. An interesting situation in Natchitoches Central, another team formerly of Jess Curtis, leaving after one season. So what's going on with the Chiefs, and how's looking with the new head coach, and how do you think that they're going to recover this year?
I think they'll be okay, at least in that Shreveport district. That's obviously another district that I really like to see about them. My alma mater being at Bird, so I do keep tabs on them a good bit. But I think they'll probably finish, if not in the middle, a little bit below the middle now, in trying to see what they have here. The only problem is you lose Southwood and you gain Evangel and you gain Huntington. And those are the two teams that have been really high flying, especially Huntington over the last couple of years, especially with their with the offense that they have there. Obviously, their OC now is being a Shreve, former Bird guy too. So I wonder how that's going to go. But it's going to be very interesting to see with that. But I think one of the guys that they should have coming back should be Owen Smith. If he's still on the squad this year, he might have a good opportunity to continue being a solid quarterback for them last year. He had a good pitch and catch rapport with Cameron Davis, who had about 1,000 yards before getting hurt. But it's going to be interesting to see. But Natchitoches Central is always a school that some way, somehow, they find athletes. And they may not be one of those Natchitoches Central teams of old, like in the 90s, where they would go to second round, quarterfinals, even a semifinal run. But they have at least some guys that can get you to at least a 5-5 and 6-4, and they can always battle against some of those other good teams there. So really interested in seeing, and especially with now Brad Laird coming back into high school football. We all know that he loves offense. We all know that he loves to throw the ball around. The last time I got a chance to see him, especially in the high school, was when they played Ash, I think in 2015, and it was a 57-56 game. So that ought to tell you right there what type of guy that he loves, as far as like playing, and a former quarterback his own self. He's going to love to throw the ball around, and I feel like Natchitoches Central is still going to do the same thing.
And now the vice president of the Central Louisiana Football Club, Mr. George Peppers. Your turn.
I'll take that title. That'll be better than the Vanderbilt president of the West Bank chapter, right? So we'll do that. Anyway, Lamar Gafford, first off, thank you for taking the time to joining us and giving us your knowledge of Central Louisiana, an area that VK mentioned that I covered for a good bit. Before I start about the teams that I want to talk about, I saw something KLB reported. There is a bad referee shortage in your area, and there's talk that there may be games canceled this year because of the referee shortage. What have you heard about it? KLB reported it earlier, but what have you heard about that situation that could potentially cause a disruption up there?
I haven't heard too much about it so far this year, but I do know that we've had these things over the last couple of years where we've had
Hmm.
to move some games on to Thursdays, and it's a big thing there. Obviously, I feel like that probably will be the same thing that happens this season, where we'll probably see some Friday games being moved to Thursdays, and usually the referees do come to those teams and they do ask. Hey, would you like to move your game to Thursday, just so that we can have enough referees to come out there for Friday? And
Hmm.
some of the times the teams are very receptive to that and to doing that as well. But it's just one of those things that I feel like, again, being a referee, go out there. If you love the part of the game there, go out there, become a referee. I can't remember how much they make as far as per game is concerned, but it's a fun job and all that stuff. Yeah, I do know that you may have some guys up in the stands that are, that go a little bit too hard, that are a little bit
They
too
do.
overboard, and
Hmm.
criticizing the referees and everything. But most of the time, I mean, these guys are just like you and me. I mean, they have solid jobs. I mean, I actually, go to I actually teach at a school with one of those guys, and he's a pretty good referee. We always get a chance to see each other. Especially when I'm on the sidelines, the referees always get a chance to talk to me, and they're like, "Man, how's it going?" I guess we're at the game you're at today, and some of them get a little bit giddy about that, and I'm kind of the same way. So, but they're good guys, and they're guys that just like you and me, and we've even got a chance to have some of them on the air. On
Hmm.
our kickoff show, and even on our scoreboard show that we have on Fridays from 10 to 1. And, those guys are good guys. I mean, those guys are good guys. They're trying to make extra money, and it's something that they give back to the community. And that's just the one thing I just continue to implore for everybody. Just, support the referees. And if you want to be a ref and if you want to give back to the game, hey, this is a good way to do that.
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Can you hear us?
All right. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I can hear you. All right. I think I can hear y'all. Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, buddy.
All right, Lamar. Now let's get into. All right, let's get into the teams, and let me talk about the aforementioned team that I covered for a lot of the time I was in the Royals, the Bucky Panthers. They had a really, really good year last year. Jimmy Hillman leaving Marksville the year before, didn't win a game there, and when they hired him, the blowback was like, "Oh man, he stunk in Marksville. But what if he stinks here?" But I think he quieted some people last year with the year he had. Now, granted, they ran into a bad matchup in the second round of the playoffs, but they bring back Dylan Compton this year, and they bring back some talent. Talk about what the Panthers can be in your eyes this year.
Feel like they're the second best team in the area, behind Ash, because I really like the talent that they have. Like you said, um, Dylan Compton, talk about a guy that came out of nowhere last year,
Hmm.
to really tear up the field, and he definitely did the same thing this season. Great passer, great runner. He was also able to get himself a an offer from Navy, and I'm interested in seeing where does he go as far as like getting those offers. But I remember, I think his mom, and they asked during our award show last year, how can I get my son out there and get him the recognition he deserves? And we told him, look, just go out to camps. All you got to do is just go out to camps, get a chance to showcase your talents, and they'll find you. And they definitely have, and I feel like that he has a potential of having another good year. And then we can't forget about Kyle Johnson. I mean, Houston commit,
Yeah. Hmm.
speedster, 5'4". I mean, not 5'4", 4'5" 2",
So far.
athlete. That I feel like he's going to be a DB at the next level, but the guy can really be a good receiver and a good punt returner, as well. That he's going to be a nightmare problem for a lot of teams this season, and especially with Bunky this year. Um, as far as the offensive line play, I mean, they don't have any big guys up front, but they're technically sound. And I think that's the one thing that
Hmm.
really struck me to them this season. They know how to block well. They know how to get those guys in open spaces. And I think also their linebacking core, I mean, quiet is kept. We always talk about Compton and we talk about Johnson so much, but the linebacking core that they have, especially here with Zion Lee, being a junior, they have themselves. They're relying on speed. They're relying on a 3-4, 3-3-5 to kind of help bring some speed out there. If you love fast football, this is the team to watch for. And they got some likable dudes. And as I said about Compton, the other thing about him that I really like about him is he's not just only a good football player, but the guy is a very talented pianist. He can play the
Mm.
piano very well, and he's also a very talented painter. So, I mean, I was on the sideline last year, and they was like, the PA guy was saying, and on Tuesday you could buy some paintings from Dylan Compton himself, and I'm like, is this something? What can he do?
That's the new version of the NIL, I guess. But with that said, there's another team that catches my fancy, and a team that I actually worked for a couple of years. Since Andy Boone has left, they haven't really been the same. The Evolves Mustangs. Um, can they get their footing back this year? Do you feel like that's a team that could be on the come up?
I think so too. Last year they probably played one of the hardest schedules in the state, where they had to place
Yes.
against Southern Lab and Turlins and LCA, but it really helped them in playoff time where they played against Kinder, where a lot of people were actually picking them to upset Kinder, and
Hmm.
and they were pretty much a favorite in that one, and then they had a good chance of even winning in the second round. But they kind of ran out of gas at that point. But Corey Bannister was doing a very solid job with them. He's the Vols guy, tried and true. This is his alma mater. This was the job that he really wanted. And if there's anybody that those guys that can understand those guys, it's him. And they got some good players. Now they may not have the Dakarian Sampson at running back that they had last year, but they got a good defensive back in Kevin Jones that I feel like he's next. He's one of those next guys as far as the parish that people are need to also look out for. I know a lot of people are going to look at Compton and Johnson and of course the guys at Marksville, but he's a guy to watch out for too, and they're feeling pretty high on him as well.
Finishing off the Paris, let's talk about the Marksville Tigers, a team that was woebegone 2 years ago, but kind of got themselves together a little bit last year, had a respectable season. What are you looking at from the Marksville Tigers this year?
I think they're going to improve a little bit more from last year. Last year they were 5-5, got themselves a home playoff game, and now this year I think they can do a little bit better. I feel like they can get to about 6 or 7 wins. Part of that is Devin Lavalley, who was supposed to be their quarterback as a freshman last year. He got hurt, and so he should be back at the saddle this year, and that'll give them an extra playmaker with Elijah Murray and also Kyron Prayer, where those three guys there are fast and can make plays. Kyron, I know we call him Monk, very good defensive player as well. Had over 100 some tackles. It's kind of like a rover at safety and kind of like as an extra linebacker as well. And so he'll probably be counted on to do that role as well. But he can also make some plays on the offensive end. Elijah too. He was also very solid at the start of the year. They started off 3-0 with those guys, and then they just got hurt. And I think, but this year with all three of them there, they should be all right. And I know everybody's been talking about Devin. Everybody's been talking about him being a very good quarterback. That's the reason why they made him the quarterback to start off the season. We got a chance to see him during the basketball tournament, and him playing for Marksville and carrying them, giving them their first title. And I think part of that is kind of also fueling Marksville to kind of like, okay, now we could actually win a state championship. Once somebody wins a state championship in any sport, and especially their first one, now everybody feels like, okay, what can I do just to keep this feeling going?
All right. The Tioga Indians, a team that's always solid, fundamentally well coached. That's a team that's always been, piqued the interest in that area, and they've always been consistent. What are you seeing from the Indians this year?
I think they'll be the same consistent selves that they are. this year. But I do think that it may take a little bit of a step back, mainly because of the linebacker that they have. Caleb Andrews, he's now going to Acadiana, so he has transferred over there. And he's definitely a guy that they were leaning on towards this season. I talked to Coach Cook about it, and he basically said, well, hey, look, we got a linebacker that's a sophomore that we feel like that can be as good as him, but that he's projecting that coming into into like his senior year. So he's going to be a sophomore. There's going to be some growing pains there, but they do got some good players still. They still got a good running back, and Kenny Pontier, I think. And then of course you also got some good offensive line play and Jalen Hager. That's also going to be a very solid player for them. And of course, they're bringing back a quarterback, and they're bringing back their wide receiver that they had. Not Jacorian Norris, who's now graduated to go to ULL, but they still got some guys that can be able to play there. And I guess the good thing about it is now you're playing in the district. You don't have Neville. You're swapping them out for now West Washita and Wasman. That makes everybody feel better about themselves and gives everybody, okay, we got a chance now to win the district. But I feel like that they're probably going to be in the middle of the road in that district as well, because Coach Cook, he's going to do a great job with the guys he has. He does more with less. He's a great coach in that regard there. But I just think that they have some guys that they got to try to season up a little bit there before they can probably be right there. But I think they'll be in the middle of the mix, though.
JB?
My good friend Lamar, what can you tell us about Pineville?
Man, Pineville, it's going to be a little bit tough for them, especially when they get in the district. And, we talked about you swap out West Washita for Neville, and man, for Pineville, that's a tough draw right there for them, because I mean you're competing in the district with Ash, competing in the district with Ruston, you're competing in the district with West Monroe, with Neville, and Washita, who's always going to be very solid. It's gonna be tough for them to probably escape the basement of that district. And so for them, they have to really schedule and get themselves some confidence going coming into the season, at least in the early part of the year. And I feel like that they're going to do that. They got New Iberia coming in for the first part of the season, and then of course they got Avoyelles coming to them in the second part in week 2, and then of course you got your rivalry game against Tioga, and then you have Leesville, and I think Red River is the 5th game of the season for them. Anything after that, if they could just build off of a good start, I think they'll be all right. I mean, this is a team that made it to the playoffs last year based off the strength of their district, even with a 2-8 record that they had. And so, they did a good job. It's just unfortunately the district, they're not at that point in their district there. Coach Brian Bell continues to do a good job. And they got some guys. Jacob Miranda is probably one of the better DBs that we have in the area. I feel like that he's going to go places. I feel like that he's going to be at least an FCS guy. I've seen Northwestern has already looked at him a good bit. And they also got some good offensive line play. But what can they do to kind of keep them in the mix with those guys in 2-5A? It's tough. It's very tough. I don't envy them at all, but they're going to give it their all regardless. And they've been in some games against those teams there, so I don't see them being being a walking doormat or anything. But with those teams in that district, it's gonna be interesting.
I want to move to Bolton Academy because Bolton had a football team last year. Then all of a sudden, they didn't have a football team, and then they have a football team. So, what's up with Bolton? What can you tell us? Because obviously, they have a football team.
They got a football team. Yes, they do. They have a football team. I did see them practice. I did see them play. They got, and I think I talking to their coach, Cody Corley. He says that they have about about 25 that they got dressed out. The issue is with them, the school has changed, obviously, from being a regular traditional high school to now a K through 12 magnet, where now obviously they're trying to be like the cattle magnet high of the Shreveport of the Alexandria area, basically, and they got some guys that they're going to have to try to rely on that may be middle schoolers this year. From the lineup that I've seen some eighth graders, I've seen some seventh graders, I've seen some sixth graders, but they're probably. I think the big thing for them was to step out of district play because they knew they weren't going to be able to compete against the Bunkies and the Ginas and the Marksvilles and the Buckeyes, and without getting hurt. And they knew that, they understood that one bit. So that's part of the reason why they're one of the teams in CenLA that decided, okay, well, look, we're not gaining anything from this. Let's just go ahead, get outside of the district for district honors, at least for football, and just try to build some confidence going there. And I think in the future, they have something that they can probably try to build off of, that they can try to help out their team going forward. It's just right now, they may not look like it right now where they're going to be, world beaters or anything else like that. But in the future, they're going to be okay. One of the guys that they really like coming forward here is a guy named Jose McNeil. He's only 5'1" and 122 pounds, but from what their coach basically said he was overwhelmingly voted on as their team captain. About 70% of the players liked what he did. And the kid may be small, but he said the kid can hit very well. And they said that they had to even, stop him from just hitting people so much because, it's just like, hey, man, I settle down out there. I know you really want to go out there and prove your point, but we gotta kind of try to, let everybody get a chance there. But I think they got themselves an easier schedule now. Where I know in the back half of the season, I know they got Ringgold as a homecoming game in week 10. But you also got Avols, you also got Grant that they're playing against. And I think one of the other teams they're playing against is Lagrange. So they got a squad that it's just about them, the future. The future. Basically, they're trying to figure out what they're going to do for the future for them and go from there.
We got La JoJo 10 just joined us, and he said, "Talk about Leesville." Man, we already talked about Leesville. We did. We talked about Xavier Ford and the whole team. La JoJo 10. We already did that, man. We did talk about Leesville and Xavier Ford. We talked about their chances of going to the dome and all that good stuff. VK, I pass it back over to you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask you this one question, and I'm gonna give it back to George. Which team do you see in CenLA that could be one, could be the team to maybe beat and maybe have a chance to get to the Superdome? And two, which team is a sleeper that could come out this season from CenLA?
Good question. Good question. I think the team that probably I think the team that could probably get there this season, and I know they're gonna have a tough road for this year, but if everything plays if Ash can play their cards right, especially with the season that they have, especially with the guys that they have there, um, I'd really like them as a team that could probably go far in the playoffs. You got the running back, you got the receiver, um, all the quarterback, whoever wins the quarterback situation there is going to have pretty much the keys of a fine old machine. And I think they have a decent chance. I know Division One select is brutal, is very brutal. But this was a team that, last year they went up to Edna Carr and they gave everything they had and only
Yeah.
lost by a possession. And they have a chance of possibly making it there and all that. I mean, no team really goes into New Orleans, and I mean, y'all know about the teams that they have over there. No team really goes into New Orleans twice and expects to come out there, but they believe that they had a chance of winning. I mean, they shut out. Brother Martin. And I think that was one of the more stunning matchups that I thought, where I know some of the fans kind of gave it to me. I thought that they were gonna be out in the second round, but
Us too.
they showed up against Brother Martin and played a good defensive plan against them. And so if they can continue that, I think they'll be all right. As far as the team that I feel like that can kind of as a sleeper, they can kind of make themselves a run. I think let's go out. Let's probably say maybe Oakdale, and especially going down to Division 4, Division 3, non-select. I think they're in. Um, I know in Division 3, the better teams in the select side. So that's why I feel like Bunkie has a chance at least getting to Thanksgiving, but I know they're going to have a harder matchup. But I think Oakdale, especially with the athletes that they could have, and the crazy thing is Oakdale's always the enigma that we never know about them. We don't get a chance to see them a whole lot because obviously they're 45 minutes south, but we do care about them a good bit. That we always know that they got good athletes. They're going to run the football very well. I know they got themselves a new head coach, but it's going to be interesting to see what they do, especially in their new district that they have with them, Avoyelles, Menard, Port Barre, and Kinder. But I think if they can keep up the run as far as their district, because I feel like they can also win their district, they have a chance of possibly shocking some teams.
GP.
Okay. One of the more intricate rivalries they have in Central Louisiana is called the Squirrel Bowl. That's usually Buckeye and Bolton for the preponderance of what they play. I mean, I've not been even in my 12 years there. I never actually went, but it usually the Squirrel Bowl. For those that don't know, it usually precludes the opening day of hunting season, squirrel season. But I want to talk about one of the teams that's going to partake in it, the Buckeye Panthers. We haven't mentioned them at all. Talk about that team and what do you think they're going to produce this year?
I think that's another
Oh,
team that could be a good sleeper as well this season. And I think they got a chance of doing pretty well. Aaron York now comes in at as the head coach of the team after Ben McLaughlin leaves, and he basically goes now to Louisiana Christian, replacing Drew Maddox. And so now it's going to be trying to see, okay, how can they keep on with the momentum? Crazy thing is, before this, I mean, Buckeye used to be used to be a team that just, okay, we're gonna triple option you to death, and we're gonna run, 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 and we're gonna do all this, and that's it. And passing the football was something that you wouldn't think about at Buckeye. And then last year, the boom came where, oh wow, they're passing the ball and they're actually doing a very good job at doing that. And so it's going to be very interesting to see with them. Now, the quarterback that they had from last season, Adam Brodnax, he's decided to go into baseball and focus a little bit more about his baseball career. So he's now going to be he's committed to ULM so he's going to try to at least play other sports. He's going to play basketball for them as well. But they have now a new quarterback. His last name is Grimmett, where they feel pretty high about him. He can spin the ball very well. He's also a baseball player. I know his head coach, his dad is also a member of the coaching staff, and also is a member of the baseball coaching staff as well. So they feel pretty high on him as well. And of course, they got Hayden Boone back as wide receiver, who is a very solid receiver last year. And I think he almost got to 1,000 yards last year. He couldn't get to 1,000 yards this year. And of course, they still got some good offensive line play and still got some good defense. So if they can continue to keep it going with that, they'll definitely be all right. I know the Squirrel Bowl this season, obviously, their Squirrel Bowl opponent this year is going to be Menard. So it goes back to a little bit more of a traditional Squirrel Bowl rivalry game
okay.
where those two teams haven't played against each other in a minute. And so, it's going to be an interesting matchup between those two, and can't wait to see it. But I think Buckeye's going to be in the middle, and they're going to be in the mix of that district as well.
Okay. JB.
What can you tell us about Marksville?
Already talked about them.
Marshville.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Marshville, team a lot
Yeah.
of speed. Yeah, I'll go ahead and talk about them again, but team with a lot of speed. Elijah Murray, love him. Monk Prayer, and also Devin Lavalley, those three
Yeah.
guys, very good playmakers. They're going to be hard to stop, especially against some of these teams here. And you better have yourself an athletic defense against those guys, because I think you know one of all three of those guys have probably the potential to break loose for a big play, and that's something there.
Okay. What about Vidalia?
Vidalia, one of those teams that I know we kind of still covered them a good bit here. We've been trying to reach out to Coach West on to get a scoop on them a little bit. Haven't really been able to, but they've been also a very solid team in the last couple of years. Um, I'm interested in seeing what they're going to do in the move up to 3A. I know they've been in 3A before, um, but that district with them and playing against Bunky and playing against all those other teams, I feel like unfortunately they might be the team that's probably going to be the last place team in their district. But you know, they're always a team that always has a standout player or two that can really come out there. But I feel like the game that we'll get a chance to learn about them is week 1 against Faraday. And that's a big rivalry game. That's one of those games where both of those towns they shut down everything. A lot of pride, a lot of bragging rights on the line there, and we'll figure out a lot about the Vikings in that matchup there.
One more question and we'll get you out of here. Red River.
Red River, another one of those teams here that's always going to be very solid. As far as like the athletes that they have, I know they've taken a little bit of a step back these last few years. Outside that matchup that they had against Rose Pine a couple of years ago, where Rose Pine beat them in double overtime in another great game. But they're always going to have some good athletes there. I'm kind of shocked that they're not going to be in a district with Lakeview because they've always been joined at the hip together, but Lakeview's now going down to 1A. And so Red River, I think they're going to be in the mix in that district as well. Um, I feel like they're going to be competing against Winfield for that third spot in the district with them, Mansfield, and I think somebody else in that district is going to be Lakeside. So I think they'll be in the third place spot. I think that game against Winfield should be a good game between those two because the thing that hurt Winfield last year was injuries, and they
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of them, and they had to play some guys, at other spots. But I think this season they're going to have a little bit of a wrinkle there, so it should be a up and down good matchup between those two. But I think those two will have a good matchup for third place in that district.
Our good friend, Lamar Gafford of CenLA Sports, man. Thank you so much for joining us on the show again. As always, we truly, truly appreciate it when you're on with us.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all so much. Every time that y'all give me a call about coming on the show, you always know I'm gonna drop everything I'm doing and be on the show with y'all. So hey, let's hash it out.
That's right. That's
That's
right.
right.
Lamar
Thank you.
Gafford. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. You have a good one.
All right.
Sure.
Our good friend Lamar Gafford
You
of
too.
CenLA Sports. Um, so VK, he thinks Ash has a good shot to get to the dome. I'm I'm skeptical. I don't see it. But I could be proven wrong, right, VK? Be proven wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, wouldn't be the
Mhm.
last time. We all gonna be proven wrong in something. But VK, Ash returning some good players, as he said, having a quarterback battle. JT Lindsay is the star running back and probably the best player in all of Alexandria, who's going to LSU. What are your thoughts? You heard Lamar say that he think they can. Do you think Alexandria has a chance to get to the dome?
I'm gone. I've been looking at a lot of these teams and thinking about it, and I hate to say it, I gotta agree with Lamar. They got a good bit of experience back, and that's really helps Alexandria. The only factor for Alexandria is the quarterback spot. That's the only factor. And the thing is, whoever's the quarterback, don't be surprised. You might see some mistakes early, but if the maturity kicks in, and it don't have to be that soon. If that maturity kicks in like week 3, 4, and things start taking off, look out for Alexandria because they already loaded the bear with a good offensive line, very good running back, good weapons, and a very good defense. So I gotta agree with Lamar with Alexandria. That could be the team that has a great chance. But maybe some other teams might squeeze in. But a good bit of the CenLA teams lost a lot of experienced players. So it's gonna like teams like a Gene and stuff, it's gonna be kind of difficult. But we will see. And I ain't gonna lie, a team that I really think could be a sleeper that could come out of nowhere. Looking at what's coming this year, I gotta say Leesville is one. Leesville could get deep again.
Like
Another one
JoJo 10. You heard that? Like JoJo 10. Like
and
JoJo 10. You still there? You heard that? There we
and
go.
and another one I'm gonna say is Natchitoches Central. Brett Beard is gonna. It's gonna be interesting when Brett Beard can coach, man. He can coach, and I think at Natchitoches Central might be more better than people think.
Mm, okay. GP, do you
As
agree
far as
with
I like,
VK in regards to Alexandria?
um, when you look at what they did last year, they bageled Brother Martin on the road, right? Beat them
Yeah, they
26 to
came back.
nothing. They goose egg Brother Martin. And then they get Carr the next week with the ball and a chance to win the game. They were down at a score. And me and VK were at St. Martin's in Riverside in the quarterfinal. And I was tracking that game because Carr had a big lead early and Alexandria came rolling. And then they got the ball back. So I had, heard we had just finished up our broadcast and they were still playing. Look, VK, you're right about the quarterback situation. If they get this thing figured out, they've got the talent pool to make it. My problem with Alexandria, I think the schedule out and in district is absolute overkill. I think it's too much to ask of this team. Look at the district. They get West Monroe. They
Yeah,
get
tough district,
yeah.
but the Catholic League got a tough district. It is what it
I
is.
look. Let me elaborate. Ruston, a state champion. West Monroe, perennial. They're there. Ouachita. Well, I call Ouachita the choke artist of any district because they can do great in the regular season, but they're playoff pitifully pitiful in the playoffs. But still, Alexandria outside the district's got some wicked matchups, and they're going to have to navigate. I feel like if they could stay healthy and if JT Lindsay does his thing, it's a team that if the schedule doesn't do any damage to them, they have a chance. For me, and uh, to answer, I say no, but it's a trepidant no. It's like, I'd like to see it because CenLA, the banner of Central Louisiana, Alexandria should have won the state title the COVID season. Remember, they lost a failed 2-point conversion, cost them a state title in that track meet against, was it Acadiana, I think?
Yes.
I
Yes.
think it was Acadiana, yes. They should have won that state title, but they didn't. But and Lamar mentioned Bunky as the second best team in the state in the central Louisiana area. He's 100% on point. They've got speed, they've got experience. The one thing that does Bunky in size. They don't grow them big in CenLA. They don't get the big hog mollies in central Louisiana to play O line or D line. They're going to get pushed around just like they did in the playoffs last year in the second round game. I forget who they played, but they got dusted pretty good at home in the second round. They don't grow big. They usually do, but Bunky doesn't get the pick of the kitty litter there in reference to that. They're gonna run you to death. They're gonna outrun you. But when they play a team that's physical, that's not a good recipe. But to answer Alexandria, I say no, but I'm kind of hoping they do. I'm kind of
And,
hoping they do.
and here's
BK, help me out
what
right quick.
yes, sir.
What was my tier one of teams in 5A or the non-select? I know I had
Destrehan,
Destrehan.
Westgate,
No,
Ruston,
not Westgate. Not Westgate. Destrehan, West
Ruston,
Monroe.
West
I
Monroe.
Ruston.
didn't. I didn't. I didn't have Ruston last year yet. I didn't have
Yeah,
Ruston.
Ruston
Oh, you're talking about last year. Okay, I think you're talking about this year. Okay.
this
Trying to
year.
think who the other two teams was. Acadiana one?
Katie Ann, I think, was one of them.
I can't
hmm
remember. That's sad. My tier. I took four teams in tier one. And VK had Ruston in his, but I'm like, who did I have? Destrehan was there. West Monroe was there. I'm trying to think of the other two
Zachary,
teams. Zachary.
Zach,
Yeah, Zachary.
Zachary, and
Uh, who was the other
and they got
team?
to the state title game last year, so
They did.
and
Who the
got beat by
team?
Ruston.
Yeah, another team
Who's
that perennial that
Destrehan.
I already said them.
the way they had
Destrehan,
him?
They did
West
have him all
Monroe,
right.
Zachary.
Zachary.
Neville.
It was, no, not Neville. I, I can't think of who it is. It'll come to me later, I promise you. But let's on that tier, I have to take off West Monroe now. I have to take them off. That first round loss to North Shore, that's a wrap.
Yeah,
Ruston,
that ends your eliteness. I think
yeah,
a
oh,
mid level a mid
done,
level North Shore team, a
done.
mid level team from that area. You go into West Monroe, which is basically the University of West Monroe with the campus and the field and the million coaches and players they got, and you go up there, middle of the road, team from St. Tammany goes into your crib and beats you. You're out of the elite category for me, West Monroe. See ya.
Yeah,
He-
that's
he- he-
they down, and Ruston is there. Go ahead, VK.
Here's the thing about that. Back to what you're saying about Alexandria with the schedule
Yeah,
and stuff.
Acadiana, Destrehan, Zachary, Ruston. That was my four. Now select. I'm sorry. All right, go ahead,
Right,
VK.
you good. But you were saying about the schedule that might hurt them, but no, I don't think that's going. Alexandria needs this.
Yeah,
There's
I agree.
always
Yes.
teams that make that come up the year before, and a lot of teams who win that state championship next year, they got that one opponent in their non-district, and that's that big test. Knowing can we, if we know we got to do in the district, but can we beat that other team outside to get to where we need to be?
Okay,
This
answer this,
this
BK.
is this is that I'm telling you, this we
No,
didn't seen this over the years.
mhm.
There's always that one game that next year they play, win or lose. That game helped them tremendously going forward.
Let
So
me
Sure.
let me let me jump
yes,
in before George goes because
go
I
ahead.
want to repeat this Alexandria schedule. The scrimmages start next week, except
Mhm.
for Alexandria and STM. They have a scrimmage on the 16th. That is, I believe,
Friday,
Friday. And
Friday.
then the following Friday, they scrimmage Acadiana. That's two powerhouses you're scrimmaging. That's to get you ready for the season. Then you got Sterlington in the Jamboree. West Feliciana won't be easy. Union Parish has won a state championship. Won't be easy. Destrehan takes the
It's never
road
easy.
trip to Alexandria. And I think Destrehan put a beat down on Alexandria last year. So they're looking for revenge. And then I don't know who that is.
Don't they play Lafayette Christian?
No. And then Manny, West Monroe, Pineville, Ruston, Washington, Neville. That schedule is not easy at all. But most coaches schedule tough to get your teams ready down the road and to have a chance to make a run at the playoffs. And those two scrimmages off the get-go, I just pray they come out healthy. No injuries. But man, go ahead, George.
Go, Josh.
I was going to just piggyback off what you said on the schedule because I see a couple of gimmies on the schedule. But you mentioned Lafayette Christian, Destrehan, teams like that, Union Parish, Sterlington. I think they could beat. I think they could beat
They
Sterlington.
don't play Lafayette Christian.
Sterlington's
They
not a
don't play
team that
Lafayette Christian.
I thought they played LC.
No, no, that's Shaw.
Oh, he mentioned the
Um,
Royals played LC next year. Okay, never mind. But Sterlington's a tricky opponent, but they could beat them. They'll beat West Wachita. They'll beat Pineville. I think they beat West Monroe this year. I think they will beat West Monroe this year because by then you would think they have the quarterback situation figured out, and with all that ace talent they got with Lindsay, West Monroe doesn't have an answer for them. So I think they could beat them. Ruston, oof, I don't know. What's up, Jordan Taylor? How you doing, sir? Um, I don't know if they beat Ruston. I know Ruston has the quarterback. His name escapes me.
Joshua
But
Brantley.
y'all know who I'm talking about. That alpha
Yeah,
dog for them, Joshua
Joshua.
Brantley. They can
Yeah.
that might be the big decider in that spot. Um, outside of the district, Alexandria, if they could leave the regular season 7-3, look out. Look out. They could get to this playoff at 7-3. Look out. Because they will absolutely have been tested. You mentioned the two scrimmages at St. Thomas More and Acadiana back to back. Those are physical football teams,
At
and
home.
you're not going to see a lot in those scrimmages but in there at home. But you're not going to see a lot of pounding, like physicality, really, because it's a scrimmage. I mean, they're going to be yellow playbooks. They're going to be vanilla. You know, it's not going to be any of that. But I think Alexandria, if they can navigate this schedule and get the 7 wins, then you know what? They'll be what, about a 7 or 8 seed, 7, 8, 9 seed. And I would give them a puncher's chance against those top seeds in the playoffs. But maybe I'm seeding them too low because the schedule is going to give them a lot of chances at power points. You know, the power points are going to be big, and they
I,
could be 7-3 and be a 5 seed. And I would have
I'm
no problem with that.
I'm going to say this right quick before I let VK jump in.
Yes.
And as regards to their district schedule, 5-game district, 3 games at home. You go on the
Hmm.
road to Washita, and you go on the road to Pineville. Pineville is down the street. That sets up perfectly, be honest with you, not to have to travel to West Monroe and to Ruston and to Neville, that hour and 15-minute drive up there, or a little longer
They got to get
maybe.
on the bus. Yeah.
They going just to Washita and the quick drive to Pineville. That sets up perfectly. Go ahead, VK.
So Neville is in their district now?
Neville's 5A. Yes,
Oh, they
sir.
back up.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back up, they
So,
are.
well, the thing is, when you look at it, when you talk about West Monroe and everything else, and here's the thing, and I've been saying this it ain't the fact they down, it's been coming down. I've been said this years ago. Teams like West Monroe and Neville has chinks in the armor. It's not the same. Some way, somehow, it's gonna come down. It started when West Monroe lost to Landry Walker. It started from there. And then all of a sudden, the year Alexandria lost in the state championship, they got over the hump and beat West Monroe. And then 2 years
In the
straight,
quarterfinals. In the
yes.
quarterfinals.
And then 2 years straight, Ruston takes them out. I said it myself years ago. The North is down. It's not what it used to be. And I said Ruston is taking over. The come up is coming, and they made the come up because I'm telling you, the consistency is not there. Not at all. Neville, yeah, they're back up in 5A. We'll see what happens. But Neville's not the same. They're not. When other teams starting to get their best punch and knock you down, and you're not powerful as you used to be, hey, a lot of teams do like that. A lot of teams take a back. It happens all the time. They'll get back up sooner or later. But right now, it was coming. And West Monroe is down. So it could set up perfect for Alexandria, Jared. You probably is right. Like I said, that schedule is going to help Alexandria tremendously, and that could be the most dangerous team in Division One non-select.
Most dangerous team in Division One non-select.
Especially if
He
they
said that's the whole state you're talking about now. The most dangerous team.
I'm saying it because of the
You put it
playoff.
over Ruston? Or are you saying Ruston or Alexandria? Which one you saying?
I'm saying Alexander. We know Ruston's the state champions, the defending champs that could go back to back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying Alexandria is very dangerous because of the playoff experience and plus who they're playing this year. And they ain't gonna have no fear against anybody, even if they go against a Ruston. They are gonna be ready.
Go ahead, George.
All right. What I was going to say, let me throw this out there because a potential playoff matchup that I would absolutely want to cover is Westgate Alexandria. If those two can hook up in the non selects, that would be a fantastic playoff matchup. VK, do you think they could beat Westgate in a 48-minute game?
I think that game will go down all the way to the wire, and it will come down to a field goal. That's how good that game, and that could be possibly one of the best games in the postseason if they meet.
If that matchup happens.
If that matchup happens, it could be to me. That could be shootout to the death. That could be shootout to the death, or it could be defensive ball game, and it could be a 24-21 final score or a 31-28 final score. But I
I
think that's
somehow
a
don't see
great.
that.
Even I think that's a great. We'll see what happens during the season, but that could be a
Mhm.
potentially great matchup.
I can see that game being an airtight game. The reason I asked that
Time
because
out.
Ken, you know,
Time out. Because I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, that's a great matchup. And I'm like, I don't think that will happen. And then Jordan says, yeah, it's different playoffs because Alexandria is select, Westgate is
oh, that's right.
non-select. And
Ash
I'm
is
sitting
not
there like,
select.
well, I
Oh,
don't
wait a
think that's right. That's okay, guys.
minute.
Hey, we can
Okay,
have this fantasy dream playoff matchup all we
yeah, we could
want. We
do
can
that.
have
Stop hating.
that.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
we can
Exactly.
hey,
have that.
but actually, since you said select, that makes them more dangerous.
I don't know.
That makes them
I
more
don't know,
dangerous.
VK. I don't know.
Remember, they shut out Brother Martin on
23 to
the
They
0.
did
road,
on the road.
and
0.
they took call to the limit on the
Had the ball
road.
with a
40
chance to win.
40 to 34.
And you playing a tough schedule now? You think no, they not gonna fit nothing. They're gonna
Oh
be like,
no,
bring
that's that's
bring the table, bring it to the table. That's what Alexandra gonna be saying.
that's
Not
that's
doubting none of
not.
these other teams in the select, knowing that STM and all these teams. And guess what? STM will move up to Division One select, and they're scrimmaging them. What the hell that's gonna be?
So is Acadiana.
None.
Exactly. That's gonna be a big help. You can't.
Acadiana's not select though.
Are
No,
they not
Acadiana
select?
is select. They
Oh
are
yeah, they
I
are
select.
thought they were
select.
not.
No, lost
Oh, they played
Academy.
Zachary. That's right. They played Zachary for the title
Ruston
last
plays
year.
Zachary for the title.
Ruston played
Ruston plays
Zachary. Okay, I'm getting confused.
Alec played
Uh,
Acadiana.
that's right. I mean, Ash is going to be. Look, we're arguing apples and oranges. I think they're a dangerous team, regardless of the situation, the setup. You know, um, I think they have an opportunity to really, how do I say it, shut some people up. Like, because now last year, oh man, where are these guys from? They go into Brother Martin and put a 26 nothing whooping on them, and then they get Carr, and they should have beat Carr. They had a ball with a chance to win late in that game, 40-34 it finished. And, that's all you could ask, a chance to win that thing
That's
after the
it.
dreadful start they had. And now they're going to be asked to do that again. Let's see if they can run it back again with a quarterback situation that really isn't settled yet. And if it gets settled, Ash has a real shot.
Yeah, yeah, without a doubt. Oh man, it's football season, man. Man, I'd like to take that drive to Ash and watch that scrimmage, but no, I'm not taking that drive. No, 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 no,
Mm-mm,
no. Not taking that 3 hour drive to Alexandria. Nah,
mm-mm.
not at all. Nope, nope, nope. Maybe one day we'll see.
Maybe in the
But
playoffs.
we'll see. I know
Yeah.
who covers that area? 446 Sports. So it'd be a fight with them.
If but
But
but if they come down and
Yeah.
play at Westgate, that's a different story right there.
yes.
That's
We could
hashing
go
out
back to
show.
Westgate. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
oh,
hashing out
without a
show
doubt.
territory.
That's a quick call to Coach Antoine.
There you go.
Yeah. But Alexandria not going to
Yeah, we
Westgate.
did, Jordan.
Sorry, y'all.
Yeah. We did, Jordan Taylor. He's asking about, did we touch on the talent Bucky has returning? Look, this could be their best team since the semifinal team of 1988 that should have won state in 88. They lost to Jonesboro Hodge in overtime. A foolish call in that game. Took that game to overtime, and Jay Hodge won it. And Manny, who Bunky beat by 16 points in the regular season, beat Jonesboro Hodge to win that state title. So this Bunky team might be as good as that one. And Jimmy Hellman, boy, did he shut some people up last year. Because 2 years ago at Marksville, it was a rudderless ship 2 years ago at Marksville. Didn't win a game. They gave up 660 some points, something like that. Ridiculous number. And then he goes to Bunky, and it's like, oh man, of course, in small town schools, small town football, they're like, man, why did we get that guy? He stunk at our biggest rival. So he faced a little bit of heat early, and you know what? Talent does win games. Last I checked, coaching does too, and they really did it. They really did a job last year. Um, I'm excited at what that Bunky team has coming back, Jordan Taylor. To answer your question, I really like what they got. But my problem is in the trenches. They're not good. I don't think they're big enough in the trenches, and they run into physical teams. They're going to get in trouble.
Well, this was an exciting show
And
today.
what do we have here?
And we will be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock. We're gonna have Mr. Jimmy Watson of the Shreveport Times. He's gonna join us as we talk about the Shreveport area teams. I gotta sit here and ask him about Evangel off the get go, guys. I have to ask about Evangel.
I know.
Evangel back in 5A, but they don't have the depth, and that is what worries me about Evangel. If they had depth, I think Evangel goes to the dome. They lose some players, especially Gabriel Relaford, who was to me the best defensive player I saw with my own eyes last year when he played against
But
Shaw. Dog, that dude there, Jesus Christ! But we're gonna see what Coach
game
Gunn
changer.
has. Who, Gabriel Relaford?
I'll say this to you, Jared.
Uh,
I'll say this to you, Jared, about Evangel. Remember, your quarterback that transferred out of Calvary
oh, I
is
know.
at Evangel now.
Peyton Houston
So
is at
Peyton,
Evangel.
what's it? Yeah, he is there. So that could solve a lot of problems for
Yeah.
them. They're always well coached, and they gave you guys a battle last year. They gave you guys a little bit of a fight in
Oh,
that
was it a
playoff
fight?
game.
Yeah, it was a fight. Hell yeah. They
Yep,
sure did. They came down. They came down and they gave us everything that we can handle, man. And
yep.
better
Y'all
team won that
won.
day. Oh yeah, better team
Yes,
won
they
that day.
did.
20 to
Hmm.
13. And Jordan Taylor said Ben Taylor just threw another touchdown. That is Ben Taylor, the quarterback at Airline, who has led the
Yeah.
state in passing yards and touchdowns for the past 2 years.
If
So
that team had a defense, they'd win. If that team had a defense, they'd
they had
win
a
state
defense.
titles.
They win
Exactly.
state without a doubt. They
A
had a
lot.
defense.
A
They
lot.
win state without a doubt.
Hmm.
So, but ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. VK, you got any last words before we go?
I think I had some good redemption tonight on in this show. You know what I'm saying? So big ups to me. Big
Oh
ups to my
my
team.
God.
You know what I'm saying? But I love my team. I love my show, and I love what I do. So continue to support the Hash It Out Show and like, tag, share, subscribe on all social media platforms, and log on to the Hash It Out Show.com and continue to laugh and hate and all that all you want to, man. Because I ain't going nowhere.
Oh man,
Cannot wait
You
till
doing all right.
tomorrow.
You ain't going nowhere. You doing all right.
Yeah, yes, sir. I've been here
dude.
counting
Exactly. You
19
ain't
years
going
in the
nowhere.
booth, baby. Ain't
That's right.
going
You ain't going
nowhere.
nowhere.
But great show tonight, guys.
For sure. GP.
Well, and the three of us will convene together tomorrow. We got our preseason luncheon for Ken Trahan and the original going on its 30th year. 30. 30 years. That is an incredible accomplishment. It is by far the best prep show you can get. 6 hours of nonstop coverage, reporters all over the state. And
Now,
we
hold
get to
on,
do
man.
our preseason luncheon
I
tomorrow
love Ken too.
at Quarterview.
I love Ken too. But man, you ain't about to say Ken got the best prep show on this show. No. You ain't about to say that, bro. Not over the Hash It Out show. No, I can't.
Oh,
I
wow.
can't. I can't let you do that. Ken, my guy.
Man, I knew that was coming. VK, help me out
Oh
here, bro.
yeah, you can't say that on this
I
show,
know.
man.
God know he's your guy.
Just
I'm
like
not
just like
going to.
Yeah,
I
just
just
like
did,
he
though.
mentioned about
So,
his boy Gilbert Arenas. So I already know. You know, we got to respect what the man say.
Gilbert Arenas, don't get me started on that, dude. But that's another story for another day. Look, we convene together tomorrow. It's going to be a great time. Get some good eats. And then we got our big show tomorrow. Um, oh, wow. Y'all see this comment? That's
Yeah.
why I stopped. That's why I stopped. Vandy LSU. Yeah, the three of us need to go. That game, I'd go just to, well, and when LSU puts what, 50 on Vandy?
VK got to wear
You know,
Vandy
once
gear.
they, I mean, well, I ain't doing all that.
No,
But
I said VK,
tomorrow
not
night,
you, VK.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow night's show. Obvious reasons. I mean, Jimmy Taylor is going to be on from the Shreveport
Jim
area,
Watson.
and
Jim Watson.
Jimmy
Jim
Watson. I
Watson.
said Taylor. I'm looking at Jordan. Okay, my bad.
Uh,
Jimmy Watson is going to be on, and the one question I want to ask him, because I feel like I can make this argument that is Calvary Baptist the best team in the state, regardless of class. I,
I'll
th-
let you. I'll leave that for you. I'll leave Carrie Baptist
I
for you.
think it's a legitimate question. And I believe, and I'll expound on it tomorrow night. I'll sleep on it, but I feel like they are in the absolute argument that they are. And then we're going to talk about the Bayou districts with Chris Singleton.
That's
That's going to
right.
be fun as well. That's going to be fun as well. Look, we getting you ready for the season, y'all. Stick with us, because guess
This
what? And maybe tomorrow we've already got 2 games locked down. Maybe tomorrow we'll have a preponderance of the games locked in by tomorrow, and we could announce some more. We could tell you week 5 and 8 have been locked in. Week 5, we got a great rivalry game with Amite and Kentwood. Too bad it's not at the Tank, but hey, Amite's a great home field. And in week 8, VK's other presidential club, the Bell Chase Cardinals, hosting the St. Charles Comets.
yeah.
So that's gonna be a good game. That's 2 good games we got, and we got some delicious matchups for you guys that we are hoping to announce hopefully tomorrow, but we'll see.
I'll tell you this, George. This is what we do tomorrow. Once we get Jimmy on, I'll let you ask that question first. You ask
All
about
right,
Calvary Baptist, and then swing it back to me, and I'll ask, and we go back around.
you
But
got
yeah, I'll let you ask
you
that
got
question
that.
first. Calvary Baptist.
I
That
appreciate
is,
that. All right, bro.
yeah. A lot of people are saying that's the best team in the state. I will let you ask that question first. But
And
other than that,
I,
ladies and gents, that is it for us for tonight. We are back tomorrow, what my man George said. Jimmy Watson of the Shreveport Times talking about the Shreveport area teams, and Chris Singleton talking about the Bayou area teams. So for VK Jones, George Peppers, I am JB the Sports Guy. Thank you for tuning into the Hash It Out Show. Y'all take care.
Welcome to Bayou AV Security. My name is Rusty Mathern, proud owner and operator. We specialize in providing top-notch audio solutions, advanced security cameras, reliable internet services, and stunning permanent holiday lighting. At Bayou AV Security, we are your one-stop shop for all your needs, whether it's enhancing your home entertainment system, securing your property, ensuring a seamless internet connection, or illuminating your outdoor spaces. We've got you covered. We are locally owned and conveniently located on the West Bank. As a fully licensed business, we take pride in delivering quality service you can trust. You can see our exceptional work showcased in the parade of homes. Experience the Bayou difference firsthand. Bayou AV Security, where technology meets reliability. Call us today to experience the Bayou difference.
Head coach of the Hahnville Tigers boys basketball team, and you are watching the Hash It Out Show.
Thank you for watching the Hash It Out Show. Please like, subscribe, and comment.